Most people get into affirmations because they're told it's the secret to making their desires show up faster. So they start repeating phrases like, I am loved, or I am rich, hoping that by saying these words a few times a day, their life will magically change overnight. But what usually happens? After 2 or 3 days, they look around, notice nothing looks different, and give up. They think affirmations don't work. But the problem isn't the affirmations, it's the way they're using them. Because affirmations were never meant to be some shortcut to a result. They're not supposed to be a button you push to make the world shift. They're supposed to help you change how you see yourself and the story you're telling yourself every day in your own mind. The truth is, your current life is a reflection of the identity you've been repeating to yourself for years, maybe without even realizing it. I'm not enough. Things don't work out for me. I always get left behind. Whether you say these things out loud or not, you've been living from them. So when you start affirming something new, like, I am chosen, I am powerful, I always get what I want, you're not just adding pretty words. You're picking a fight with the voice in your head that has been disagreeing with you your whole life. And that voice doesn't go down without a fight. That's why when people start doing affirmations, they often feel worse before they feel better. That inner voice, the old identity, starts to push back hard. But that's not a sign to stop. That's the moment you lean in. You don't do affirmations to feel good for 5 minutes. You do them to build a mind that thinks differently. You do them to rewire your reactions, your expectations, and your self-image. And that takes repetition. That takes persistence. You don't stop once the voice quiets down. You keep going until the new story becomes the only story. Until the old version of you that used to settle, doubt, or chase becomes unrecognizable. If you're using affirmations just to check if something has changed outside of you, you've missed the point completely. But if you're using them to change what you believe about who you are and what life gives you, then you're doing it right. Don't affirm to get something. Affirm to become someone. And once you become that version of yourself, the things you used to beg for won't just appear. They'll become your new normal. It's easy to think that saying affirmations is enough to make things happen.
Gravando.
But if the story playing in the background of your mind hasn't changed, then nothing outside will truly shift.
Pode parar
You
aí.
might say, I'm successful
Yes.
every morning. But if deep down you still believe you're unlucky, not smart enough, or always one step behind, then that deeper belief will always win. And even if you do get the thing you were chasing, a better job, more money, someone who loves you, it won't last or feel as good as you imagined, because the old version of you is still running the show. That's why people can manifest something and then lose it just as quickly. It's not because manifestation doesn't work. It's because it's working perfectly, reflecting exactly what you believe is normal for you. And here's the part no one tells you. Your mind isn't just shaped by what you say, it's shaped by what you repeat, what you assume, and what you expect. Affirmations are not magic words. They're meant to build a new mental framework. You are literally trying to change your entire belief system, and that doesn't happen in one day. You're trying to unlearn years of doubt, fear, and patterns of settling. And the voice in your head that tells you, this won't work, is not the truth. It's just a habit. A belief you picked up somewhere along the way that you've accidentally repeated for so long that it became your default. But here's the good news. If that voice was built by repetition, then it can be undone by repetition too. So you don't stop affirming when it gets quiet. You keep going. You don't stop when you feel a little better. You go until that new belief is solid, until it becomes second nature. Until no part of you doubts that you're valuable, capable, and worthy. This is the real goal. Not just to change your life, but to change the version of you who's living it. You don't need to chase results when you truly believe in yourself. The results come to you. They match your new identity without effort, because they're just a reflection of who you've become. But if you keep bouncing between the old story and the new one, waiting for proof before you fully believe, then you'll stay stuck. You'll always feel like things are out of reach. So decide now that you're done checking for signs, done waiting for proof, and done looking outside for answers. Your job is to build the new belief until it feels like truth. When that happens, the world catches up. It always does. People often assume that their happiness will come once something outside of them changes. They think once they get the relationship, the promotion, the money, or the recognition, then they'll finally feel secure, confident, and whole. But that's the biggest trap, because if you don't feel worthy before it shows up, you won't feel worthy after it shows up either. That's why people keep repeating the same painful cycles, even when the details change. One job ends and another begins, but the stress is still there. One relationship fades and a new one starts, but the rejection still hurts the same. That's because the problem was never the situation, it was the identity underneath it all. It was the story you were telling about who you are and what you deserve. And that's the story you have to change if you want things to finally shift for good. You can't skip the part where you fix your self-concept. You can't bypass the inner work and expect lasting results. This isn't about getting something, it's about becoming someone. The version of you who doesn't beg for love because they know they are love. The version who doesn't chase success because they already feel successful on the inside. The version who walks through life knowing everything is working out, even if they can't see it yet. That kind of identity can't be faked. It has to be built. And you build it by facing the part of you that still feels broken, insecure, or not enough. You build it by talking to that version with love instead of judgment, with patience instead of panic. Affirmations help with that. They aren't just about what you want to have. They're about what you want to believe about yourself. So instead of focusing on what's missing, start focusing on who you're becoming. Start asking, what version of me already has everything I want? Then practice thinking like them, speaking like them, and feeling like them until it feels normal. Because the truth is, nothing outside of you ever needed to change first. It was always about you. The job, the person, the money, those are all mirrors. And the clearer you become inside, the more clearly those mirrors will reflect what you truly want. Stop waiting for something to make you feel whole. Decide that you already are. Decide that you were never broken. You were just playing out a story that wasn't even yours. And now, it's time to write a new one. It's tempting to skip the inner work and go straight to trying to manifest something specific. Most people try to shortcut the process. They do a few visualizations, say some affirmations, try to stay positive, and then expect life to reward them quickly. But deep down, they're still carrying the same insecurities, the same fears, and the same old story about who they are. And when nothing changes, or worse, when things show up and then fall apart, they feel frustrated and start to doubt manifestation entirely. But the truth is, the problem isn't in the method, it's in the foundation. You cannot build a new life on a cracked identity. If you don't fix the root, the same pattern will keep playing out no matter how many surface changes you make. You can switch jobs, but if your story is still, "I'm not good enough," the new job will trigger the same feelings. You can meet someone new, but if your story is, "I always get abandoned," the relationship won't last. You can double your income, but if you still feel unworthy, you'll find a way to lose it, sabotage it, or live in fear of it disappearing. That's how powerful your identity is. And that's why affirmations aren't about manipulating reality. They're about repairing it from the inside out. You're not here to attract something and hope it makes you feel better. You're here to feel better first, so the things that come match that new frequency. But that takes courage. It takes honesty. You have to stop avoiding the part of you that's hurting. You have to face the beliefs that make you uncomfortable. You have to forgive yourself for the moments you settled, doubted, or played small. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to become conscious of the stories you've been living in, and then rewrite them on purpose. Affirmations help with that, but only when you use them as a way to rebuild your inner world, not as a shortcut to results. This is not about working harder. It's about going deeper. Most people are not stuck because their desire is too big. They're stuck because their self-permission is too small. And that can change, but only if you stop trying to decorate a broken mindset and start healing it. When you fix the root, everything else changes effortlessly. You don't have to chase. You don't have to beg. You just show up as the version of you who believes, trusts, and expects the best. And life has no choice but to meet you there. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves without realizing it is that manifestation is hard. They say things like, "It's not working for me," or "It takes so long," or "Why is it so easy for everyone else but not me?" And every time they say it, they're building more evidence for that belief. They're training their mind to expect struggle. And the mind is incredibly obedient. It will always prove you right. If you say something is hard, it will be. If you say it's taking forever, it will take forever. This is not about being blindly positive. It's about understanding how powerful your assumptions are. Everything in your life is a reflection of what you believe is possible and what you believe is normal for you. So if you want to change your life, the first step is to stop saying it's hard. Stop saying you don't know how. Stop saying nothing ever works out. Because the more you repeat those phrases, the more you build that version of you who struggles. And instead, start building the version of you who expects things to work out quickly, easily, and with joy. Start saying, "This is easy for me. Manifestation works for me. Everything shows up faster than I expected." Even if it doesn't feel fully true at first, keep going. Because you're not saying it to convince the world. You're saying it to retrain your mind. Affirmations aren't just words. They're seeds. And every seed you plant grows if you keep watering it. So water the beliefs that support the life you want. Don't water the weeds of doubt and fear. Start catching yourself when you speak from the old story, and gently shift back into the new one. Make the version of you who believes in ease louder than the version who expects struggle. Because here's the secret. It actually is easy. You just haven't practiced believing that yet. Your reality doesn't change when you work harder. It changes when you believe differently. And belief is a choice. It's a habit. It's a decision you make over and over until it becomes automatic. So ask yourself, what if this really could be easy? What if everything you want is already making its way to you, and your only job is to stop resisting it? What if all you had to do was stop repeating that it's hard and start expecting it to flow? That simple shift can change everything. So say it now, "This is easy," and then let life prove you right. Drop a comment and tell me, what new belief are you choosing today? The moment you write it, you're already becoming it.